How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'll go over the two trades I took on NQ. First trade was a loss, second trade was a win. We ended up with a very small positive day. We're up $132, so small day, but we ended positive. Kind of read some things wrong or made just some bad execution mistakes that caused me to take that first loss. And then my second trade, the win, should have been bigger. Once I realized that I wasn't executing as I should be, I ended the day with a small win. So let's get into the two trades that I took. I'll throw up the volume profile on the 5 minute, and then we'll look at the 1 hour as well, so we can just take a look at what was going on. So we have yesterday's price action where we made a higher high in the evening. We started to make higher lows overnight and in the pre-market. In the pre-market this morning, we had a CPI release and we made a new higher high. So we kind of broke this downtrend, right? I'm not formally declaring it, but temporarily we have stopped the streak of lower highs and lower lows, and we started higher highs and higher lows. So coming into the day, we take a look here. We can see yesterday's price action, the overnight and the pre-market price action, and then this is today's session. From overnight, we moved up, and like I said, we had that CPI release which pushed price up, and as we were opening this morning, price was pretty high, above yesterday's high. The main thing that I was watching was I was looking, okay, if price is to move to the upside, kind of what do I want to see it do? And I found this, this high volume node that spanned across, I believe that's Monday's value area high, and through the pre-market as well. So we kind of had this area that I drew. And I will say that I was looking at targets to the upside. I did have a little bit of a long bias today, which caused me to take my first loss. I had this target up here, and then I had a target like somewhere in here. And what I was looking at is these volume nodes here, kind of targeting the middle of this node, and kind of once this node starts to get a little higher, and then the very bottom range of this. And my idea today was that if we can get a strong break above this high volume here and Monday's value area high, that we had a decent room to run up until this next significant volume node up here. So I wanted to see a break above, I wanted to see a retest and hold of this area, and then I wanted to see continuation. In terms of to the downside, yeah, I didn't have a ton of a play to the downside unless we couldn't hold this, which we didn't, and it ended up informing my second trade. But we had some gaps in volume, for example, from this node down to here, and then down into here. So you see price did reject pretty violently. But let's get into price action. So once we opened, like I said, I had a bit of a long bias, and it got me in a bad trade initially. So we had this 5 minute candle where we pushed higher, didn't quite break that CPI candle high, pushed back down towards the top of this range. The following candle, we held that range and we moved higher. We didn't set a new high on the day, which maybe could have been an indicator, but we did look nice and bullish up until this point. The following candle set a new high and then started to pull back into this zone. Or no, this isn't where I took a trade. Yeah, excuse me. So we pulled back into the zone. I was watching to see if we held. We did not. We sold through it. And I was trying to wait for a 5 minute close because price was kind of just moving lower, and I wanted to see if we broke this candle low or not. We closed below this zone, and then we start pushing back up into it. And for some reason, I was still bullish, even though we had tried to make a higher high, couldn't, and then closed below this area. And we see that this area acted as resistance in the pre-market as well. So I tried to go long in here. Like I said, I had a bias to the upside, and it was partially looking at a 1 minute chart. If I pull this up, yeah, right here. So this is kind of what I was watching. Is we came down and we closed below, but we did have nice volume in this wick, and then we started moving to the upside, and I entered long. And then we came down and closed out and stopped me out. So I had an initial loss. From there, I kind of realized my mistake because I was looking at price action, realizing that we'd tried to break out, we'd failed, we were retesting and closing lower. And so I switched my bias, and as price came up and retested, I entered short in here. My stop was above this wick, so I had a entry around 690, a stop around 735 or so about 45 point stop. And I was targeting yesterday's, the overnight session value area high. Here's where I kind of made my second mistake. So we had a pretty wild 1 minute candle, almost wicked me out, but did not. We pushed down. After this wick, I was a little scared. I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to hit my profit target. So I just exited at market and did not wait for it to get to my price target. Ultimately, you see price did sweep down to this next volume node here. And when we look at kind of like this area in here, we can see that not a lot of volume overnight there, and we can see the price just kind of fell right through it and targeted this next volume node in here. And you can see that you get bounce out of that, we sell through, we reject off of it, we break above, we hold it. So ideally what I would have done is, after seeing price breakthrough, come up and retest and reject kind of the top of that zone. Probably should have got short where I went long initially, or at least here on the retest once we broke down, set a new low, and then retested. That was a nice entry short. And then I should have targeted this high volume node down here. I was being a little conservative by targeting the value area high, but I did not hold all the way through. I did not hold my position, and that's where I made my mistake. So I ended up with a small win. If I held my position and just let it hit my price target, just trusted myself, I would have had probably up about 500 on the day. So, and if I targeted this volume node down here, could have been up hundreds. So we're left with a small win, but it is what it is. Really enjoying trading with these volume nodes, really kind of enjoying how I'm seeing some things. Was a little disappointed in myself initially to have that mistake of longing when it was an obvious short opportunity. And that's just, like I said, I had a daily bias coming into it that we might break to the upside, because I was looking at the hourly chart, realizing we kind of have started to make that pattern. I was looking for us to break and hold and continue up. We didn't. So my daily bias caused me some profit as well. So if I hadn't had that initial loss, even taking the partial win that I did would have resulted in a bigger day. But we're green overall. One day closer to hitting these PA accounts. So that's where we're at. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I trade live Monday through Friday. If you want to stop by, please do. I'd love to have you there. Hope you have a great day. Peace.